favorite Marvel Comics hero? Mine is Superman. Remember the motto? With great power comes great responsibility.
Hello everyone, John and Carla here. We are the creative team behind the Green Reaper.
The Powerpuff Girls were born! Using their ultra superpowers, Blossom, Bubbles, Buttercup have dedicated their lives to fighting crime and the police.
Hello everybody, welcome to White Cat Comics, your new favorite YouTube channel, and today is a very special Powerpuff Girls show. Let me first bring my beautiful, sexy ladies and very smart Blossom and Buttercup, my sisters, Shay and Lola. Welcome, my beautiful.
Hi. Hi.
How are you doing today?
You know, it's a
Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. It's a Tuesday.
Exactly. So today is a very exciting day because we have gorgeousness in a person as a guest.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Gorgeousness! Welcome, Martina!
Oh, wow. Thank you. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
I just want to say I love your live action art that you do. Martina.
Oh, sorry.
None of us are doing live action. I mean, I guess Carla, she's strong.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I don't have the balls to do what you do.
Oh, thank you. You mean like the performance art or the comic?
Yeah, the performance art.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, there we go. Live action. Now I get it.
Live action. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
thanks. That's what I mean. That's my main thing. That's where I feel most comfortable.
I saw the Milk video and I was like, wow. That was amazing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, but I think that once you do actually watch what I do, it's kind of like, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely super beautiful. I saw the Milk performance, you know. There you go. Let me see, Shane. Let me see your Milk.
Oh,
everybody, milk there.
I'm totally doing it
right there.
Let us do it too. See, and then after that, what's the next step? Look, Martina.
It just, I don't know, comes all the way like dripping down your mouth. You got to get rid of the jug somehow, so you kind of toss that.
Okay, we toss it. Come on, Shay. We toss it.
Toss it.
And
then you just kind of like, you have like stuff all over it and kind of spread it everywhere.
Yeah, I would go into panic mode because like I don't like to be dirty at all, and so like to have anything on me, I'd be like, oh my god, I gotta take a shower now.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is just like, I don't know if you remember being a kid when it's like muddy or whatever out, and it's like, yeah, you want to avoid getting wet or muddy, but then there's a moment where you just say, okay, fuck it, it's happening, and you just let go of that. That's kind of what it is. It's like you reach that point of like, okay, now it's like all in.
Okay. Here's my issue with it. Anytime I try to be sexy, what ends up happening is I come across very awkward. It's awkward for anyone around. We did a burlesque night when I was overseas in England. As like a girls get together thing.
Nice.
And we were in a room that had mirrors all the way around. And we're sitting here like, yeah, we got this. We're looking good. And I glanced in the mirror and I went, holy shit, this is what I look like. Oh my gosh, no wonder nobody ever talks to me when I think I'm being sexy. Like, everyone's like, oh, is she having a seizure? Someone go help that poor Amazon.
It really is kind of embarrassing. But yeah, no, I appreciate that because that's what I try to tell people often when they like, you know, I have like super conservative people like attacking me over it. I'm like, you do realize it's like women love burlesque. I'm like gay men. So like I don't know what straight man is like, let's go to a burlesque show because they like really want to get off to some titties. Like it's usually like fair girls.
They go to a strip club or watch porn.
Well, see, that's where like I think that like especially like now with our entertainment, you know, where they're trying to make women look more manly or whatever, like they don't get that women like looking at women too.
Exactly, and that's why I was into comics too, because me and my sister, we love the beautiful women. We love like Witchblade and you know all that stuff, Fathom and all that. And so when they attack the guys for like sexualizing women, I'm like, excuse me, me and my sister as kids were like, oh, beautiful women, cool. That's why I like Barbies and shit.
Right. Barbies aren't made for little boys; they're made for little girls.
Yeah.
Well, I want to say thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here. Hello, everybody. It's a ton of people. So yes, welcome. We love you guys. And I have here a little question for Shay. Is Shay really 6'1"?
Yep, I sure am.
73
inches. I joined the military. They didn't know what to do because their height chart stopped at 5'9". So they just looked at me and said, "Stand up, turn around. Yeah, you look fine." And I was like, that. I feel like that's gonna bite me, and it has ever since. It's been great.
Yeah, we have some comments here. Splendopia also, I love burlesque. And Apollo is having an interesting idea here. Walmart should add a strip club.
Apollo is all about Walmart strip club, man.
Wait, what is this? Walmart should add a strip club.
I can imagine the kinds of strippers you have at a Walmart strip club.
That's a really hilarious idea, but I just love Walmart. I tweeted about it recently.
I can you imagine what kind of women would be in a strip club made by Walmart?
That's what I'm getting at. Like,
but that's funny because you associate like burlesque and that kind of stuff, like you know, like something like I don't know, like lavish. I don't know how to describe it. You know, like luxurious. And Walmart, like, no.
You know, if someone else
you can have a Rolex special, and that would be when you bring out the D squad. Want to have all the scars, maybe missing a limb, it's fine.
Hey, can you imagine a Walmart burlesque?
Someone mentioned that recently too in my Discord, something about it's because I posted that when I tweeted about Walmart liked my tweet because I put out Walmart. Like the official verified Walmart account liked it. And I was like totally pumped. I was like, yo, Walmart likes my tweet. And someone was like, basically like no Lady Alchemy Walmart collab. And I was like, dude, that's good money. I was like, I'd be proud of that collab. And then I thought about it, I was like, that's true. Lady Alchemy is really chic. It would definitely be more like designer kind of collab. But
Lady Alchemy's more Target, right?
If anything, I mean, maybe Macy's even, you know.
Yeah,
up the ante a little.
This is just so funny. Look at the comments in the chat. Burlesque toilet.
Oh my gosh, Mogwai.
Falling prices. Clean up in the desert aisle. Oh my god.
Oh Lord. Could you imagine Lady Alchemy in Walmart? Like that would be insane.
Like my first thing was like, hell yeah, that sounds cool. And then I was like, okay.
So okay, seriously, if you ever actually decide to do that, you need to do the idea of like a flash mob, except it needs to be a burlesque mob where like everyone you seem like you're in normal clothes or whatever, and then out of nowhere everyone's just in burlesque and you're like, go by Lady Alchemy, and then you all disappear.
Pretty much. That is like what we would do for some gigs where I forget what we'd call it, but sometimes there's terrible like burlesque showgirl kind of gigs where it's like some fancy event or even like anywhere. It could have been at like a Saks Fifth Avenue or something, and they have you dressed up just like being a presenter or something, like Vanna White.
Oh
like, come this way, you know, they call them greeters. That's what we call them, greeters. And you have to greet people and go, oh, come this way. It's like the terrible job. It's terrible. I felt like a dressed up clown, but yeah, that's a thing.
Oh yeah, it is.
Well, I mean, if you remember the old car shows and stuff, that was a much more mild version, but like some of them, when they got real lavish, if they were gonna try and like pimp out the more expensive luxury cars, they would have women that were like straight up look like they walked off of Vegas or something. Like,
well, do y'all remember like boxing, the boxing lady?
the ring girls. I always wanted to be one.
Like, didn't they do away with those? Didn't they stop the ring girls
Yeah,
because
because feminists got rid of them. Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, is that not ridiculous?
it's crazy.
Yeah, I've never understood that.
But they're for sex work. But ring girl is
bad.
Well, because obviously they can't turn around and fuck that. So, you know.
All right. Interesting talk about the Walmart.
Like, I don't know what Shay just said, so I'm gonna move
Well, like,
on.
Exactly.
I'm with Martina on this. Like, they are for sex work, but then they want to sit and whine and cry because a woman sexualizes herself, or you know, because she wants to be beautiful, or because other women are being beautiful. Like, why?
Brainwashed
That
by the
makes no
patriarchy.
sense.
Yeah,
Because they're jealous. Because
like
you're
one of
doing
them
something-
actually does objectify women and gets them into like a really bad place in life and can exploit them, and the other one is like they're just being models.
Right.
And most of the time, like, women put themselves there. You know what I mean? Like, they want that. That's what they're going after.
Yeah, and I wouldn't think it's as exploitative as like porn or sex work or being a prostitute or something.
Right.
Someone had a really funny comment. What was it? Something about this Walmart.
There are a lot of them.
There's so many.
They love that.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, we have Red is saying, I'm qualified to run the Walmart strip club. I've been training my whole life for this.
Oh, this is what, the Walmart strip club DJ plays the censored versions of songs.
Oh, nice.
I love that. Walmart DJ.
Where is it? Where is it?
Oh my gosh, instead of pasties, do they have just the Walmart smiley face?
Yes. Don't they have some weird like flowery design nowadays? It's like almost like Wi-Fi.
Oh, the Starburst thing.
Yeah.
The sun, whatever.
I miss the smiley face.
I do too. So okay, total tangent, but you know how they're all wearing the vest now. On the back of the vest it says like this vest is made with X amount of recycled materials or whatever. And it talks about like we recycled like 60 bottles or something stupid like that to make this vest. Is what it says on the back of it, but it says the same number for every size. And I was like, I'm looking at that extra small and I'm looking at that triple X and going, there's no way that is the same amount of bottles and recycled materials to make those two vests.
That's funny.
I was gonna ask the lady, but I didn't think she'd think it was funny.
Tends to happen. Tends to happen. All right, so
what did we talk about today, Carla?
well, we have a series of questions, as I always do, you know. I always like to encourage like natural or something comes up, you know, we just however, here I have a couple of questions I would like to ask you ladies. My first question of today is, what are you completely over and done with?
Ooh.
Something comes into your mind, ladies?
Quarantine. Get me out of this house and away from these kids.
That's a good one. I was gonna say politics.
Mm.
I'm over that too. I'm so over that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say fake Twitter drama.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
can I say all of them?
yeah, I mean, in all honesty, if you really think about it, all three of ours that we've said are kind of interconnected.
They are.
Because of quarantine, people are being way more political. People are drumming up way more drama than they need to. And everyone's just spinning each other up in circles. And it's all like, if we could go outside and like, if I could, after work, if I could go to the bar and get a drink, how much you want to bet half of this shit would stop? Like everyone would just be like, I'm just going to go have a drink and it'll be fine.
You're right. Look, we have a question for Martina here from Chimera. Martina, have you ever met Trump?
No, I have not, unfortunately. He's a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker. I've been around similar circles, almost met, but no.
Mhm.
I don't know why that's shocking to me, but that just seems really shocking.
Look, we have this comment from Michael Tyron here who's saying artists being attacked for their art. Sakimi-chan is under fire again. Yeah, she I don't know if you guys are familiar with her art, but she draws like this, like really sexy pinups of characters, you know, anime characters and stuff. And yeah, she's very criticized for that. And I don't really get why, you know? Who doesn't like sexy female characters in
Yeah, I know. I love them. But I think that same guy that commented, I noticed that he commented in defense of Pablo Romero because of the the butter maid, Native American. Everyone's freaked out about that.
Yeah.
Everybody just like they flip out when like I think it's because they're jealous. I think they're jealous because they can't draw pretty women.
Yeah.
And I think that's their problem is that they're jealous. Like
and they genuinely think that like I mean, I don't know, maybe some guys are weird, but like they genuinely think that the guys are just like perving out on like a comic book like girl. It's like calm down. Some of us just like the pretty drawings, beautiful women.
If that's the case, then I've been perving out on art for the last 15 years.
Yeah, I mean it just looks good. Is it bad that I wanna look at something that looks good? Is it a sin?
How dare you? How dare you?
How dare you? yeah, definitely. Well, I got Pablo's back. Pablo is my artist for Cyber USA, says Splendopia. Yeah, of course.
Yo, Rob.
Yeah, definitely. Oh yeah, so let's move to the next question, okay? I'm going fast today. What's the best comeback you ever heard?
I don't know.
A best comeback?
Yes, like the best comeback you ever heard. There is one in my mind right now. It's really funny because it was like, well, John and I, we were teaching these Polish kids, right, at their home. And there was like a little break. We just had to take care of them, and they were like playing and watching TV and whatever, right? And like the big sister, she was like 12 years old, fighting with the 10-year-old boy, and she like kicked him in his male parts, right?
Right.
And he was like, "Mom, Natalia hit me in my balls," and she's like, "If you had some."
Damn, that's hard.
Damn, yeah. That was one of the best ones.
Well, someone just put in the comment the one that I was going to say, even though in the last question I said I don't want to get political anymore. The only thing that could stick out in my head is that Trump is really good at comebacks, and in jail was just so funny when he said that. It was just
he is.
I mean,
I don't know the best one. I just know that I'm good at thinking on my feet and being like, "Fuck you, bite me."
I feel like I had a decent comeback with my my brother-in-law because he's a raging bag of dicks and we don't really like him. But he's unfortunately part of my family. So I was the last time I was home, my mom sent me home as moms do with like an extra 5 to 10 pounds of shit to put in my carry-on. So I could no longer fit my heels in there. So I had to wear them to go to the airport. So I was putting my heels on. He goes, "I've never understood tall women that wear heels." And I went, "I'll tell you the same thing that I tell anyone who says this to me. I am not sacrificing cute shoes for your fragile male ego." And he came back with, I don't have a fragile male ego. I'm very confident in who I am as a man. I go, "Good, then we don't have a problem." And I legit patted him like on the head.
Oh my God.
And my whole family, like my sister has the entire time just always been super quiet whenever he says anything. She busted up laughing and damn near peed herself.
That is really good.
Both my mom and dad were like, "Oh shit." And then on the drive up, they're like, "You realize that we have to stick around here with him?" I was like, "Yeah, you do, but I don't. So he can hate me all he wants. I'm going home."
That's so good.
But don't you, Shane, don't you like sometimes like when you are pissed at somebody or, you know, for example, you told me like, I don't like my brother-in-law, right? Like, don't you like prepare possible comebacks?
I would, but I have a terrible memory, and so I don't remember them until like 3 hours later, and I was like, "No, you."
The Brits are really good with comebacks. They have like really weird words, like I don't know, trollop or something. Like they just say these words that you're like, what? What was that?
I love the word trollop. I think it's
some tart, like they're like, oh, you tart or something.
Yeah,
so funny.
Cheeky little bugger.
Yeah.
I do prepare my comebacks, by the way. All right, so let me just get to the next question because I have a ton of them. Okay, I like this one. Let me ask Martina first, and then let's all answer this one. Who's the worst guest you had in your house, and what did they do to be the worst guest? Yeah, these questions make people think, like are not like.
Well, I had one guest in my house that ended up being like a huge cyber bitch on the internet and bullying me and like talking trash about me. It's like, bitch, you've been in my home, rude.
Wow.
But on another note, like there's just some guests that like overstay their welcome and they'll just like sit around and you're like, really wanted to get some stuff done today. Can you just like go away? They just like eat all your food. They'll like use the bathroom, take a dump. Like also it's like, can you just go away?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I understand only half of the things I hear. Very well.
Okay.
But I trust in my beautiful panel to handle when I don't understand something.
Do you, Martina, do you find it more difficult to get along with like other women?
Yes and no. Like I don't know. It depends on the kind of women because I guess there's different types. You know, there's definitely ones that like are kind of catty, and yeah, it can be difficult because they always kind of create this weird either like single white female. And Carla, just so you know what that means, it's a reference from a movie where a girl tries to like copy you, become like you, and it's like
yes,
oh,
it's
okay.
a little weird. So it's like
Creepy.
or they get super jealous and psycho. But you know, like girls like you and stuff, it's like nice when you can. And I have a few other girlfriends online and in real life where it's just kind of like you don't have to deal with that. It's just kind of like, hey, what's up? And it's chill. For all the bitching I have done about the left, about feminism and like girl power stuff, it always made me roll my eyes. Like I do appreciate like when girls can get together and we can talk about things and girly things that you know that you can't talk about with guys, and we get to giggle and laugh about it. It's really nice.
Yeah, exactly. And
well,
that's
like,
what we do here.
like for me, I'm the type of person like as far as a female goes, like I want to encourage other women. You know, I want to support other women doing what they love and doing their, you know, making their dreams happen. And like I don't get the cattiness. I don't understand the backstabbiness. I don't understand the jealousy that lies therein. Like I don't get it. And I don't like it. I don't think we as women should be that way towards each other. I think we should still be building each other up and supporting each other and lifting each other up. Like that's what we should be doing. And if feminism was doing it right, that's what they would be doing. Instead, they sit around and want to tear each other down.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, just like men, women, there's always good and bad people, you know? And there, of course, there's like the feminine way, you know, the passive aggressiveness, the, oh, you're so cute, but you look like a horse, you know, that kind of stuff, you know, they tell you something in your face and then, but they still keep faking it, you know, like a guy will come and punch you and I don't know, just say, but the ladies like,
right.
And sometimes you don't even know who's your friend, you know?
Oh, right. Yeah. And that was the issue with that girl that came to my house and stuff. It was kind of like, whoa, where did that hate come from? You know?
Yeah. It's so weird when like you do stuff for people. Like you said, you let her in your home. You probably fed her. You probably, you know, gave her a place to like
offer a drink. You know, you do the normal thing that, you know.
And then like he turns around and wants to stab you in the back, and you're like, what the hell? Like, why was I nice to you in the first place if that's how you were gonna be?
Right.
To begin with.
Well, and like I've noticed that like So I had a serious boyfriend when I was a teenager who dumped me because I wouldn't sleep with them. Because that's what you do, apparently. And then immediately started hanging out with my best friend who lost her virginity to prove a point to me with a guy that I was flirting with because she was super childish. And that's apparently another thing that you do. So they start hanging out together. Obviously, what would any natural human being assume has happened? Especially because he had to drive like 2.5 hours to go pick her up so they could hang out. I'm like, no dude is driving 2.5 hours to pick somebody up to go get Taco Bell to then drive her 2.5 hours back. Like, you guys are obviously doing something. So we had this huge falling out, right? It's so interesting. The second she ended up stranded down my end of the state, how quickly it was, you know, that wasn't what happened. And I'm really like, I'm up a, you know, I'm in a really tough spot. Do you think that I could just come crash on your couch for a few hours and blah, blah, blah. And it was one of those things where I was like, the absolute nerve of you after everything that you've done. And then, of course, I feel bad because I'm like, well, I do know that you are probably stranded and I don't want you walking around outside at 4 a.m. with nowhere to go. So I guess you're going to come sit on my fucking couch. But then she comes in, she's like, you know, nothing ever happened. And I've always wished that we could be closer. The second after she got back home, done. Never talk to me again. Oh, I was like, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. And this is the thing when people complain about women or whatever, it's like, I get it. Like, they're shitty girls. Like, other girls are not immune to like other shitty women and what they can do, like the damage they can do. Like, I get it. I know shitty women exist, but some of us are not like that. So just chill. Okay.
See, that's the problem though. The shitty women give us women a bad rep because people think that's how we all are.
Exactly.
And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Some of us actually want to be here to encourage and to uplift other people and, you know, help however we can.
Yeah, just like we understand that there are like decent men out there. Like,
yeah. Not, you know, it's not all, what is it? All white men, all straight white men are bad. Yeah, no. Like, not all women think that way, right?
Exactly. Well, and I mean, anyone who's going to paint any group of people with that broad of a brush is just, it's such a childish mentality because there's never a situation where you can say all X are Y, because that's not true. There's always going to be somebody who isn't. And so it just makes more sense to me to be like, okay, this group of people I tend to stay away from because the vast majority of them tend to be like this, but that doesn't mean all of them are. So even saying like all feminist women are crazy is still not accurate, but saying that this mentality of certain women is something that I don't like.
Yeah.
It's more, I don't know, I guess it's more accurate. It's just insane to see, I don't know, how many people will just instantly be like, well, obviously you're a white chick, so this must be how you feel. It's like that. Not at all. But
I hate the mentality that because we all have vaginas, we should all be like holding hands and like rallying together to like take men down. Like, no, sorry. Just because I have a vagina doesn't mean I'm going to agree with your mentality.
We love men. What are you talking about? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what would you say is the worst and best thing about being a female?
The worst thing is having a period. I'm sorry. Hands down. The absolute worst thing in the world for me is that, but
yeah, the period's pretty bad, but to be honest, I do get like anxiety about the concept of like actual moment of childbirth.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I'm just gonna say uterus altogether. Just like if that just could not be it.
Everything related to reproductive system.
That's why I made the choice to have a C-section.
Yeah, that I would much rather.
I don't know. The whole thing freaks me out. I don't know.
It's tricky, yeah.
But at the same time, it's also one of the best things about being a woman. You know, like having a child and all that stuff. So it's like both.
Yeah,
it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing for sure. Like that moment when like, you know, you see what you've been doing for the last 9-10 months of your life. You feel like you've got like an alien growing inside of you that's gonna burst through your body.
Yeah, an alien, exactly. I'm just like, it's
That's what it feels like because you're so tired and just so like you're hungry and like
Yeah.
You want like the weirdest combinations of food.
and then like there's a like at this one point when like you're far enough along you can actually like see the baby move back and forth across. And so
I've
it really
seen
does
that.
look like it really does look like you have an alien in there that's gonna burst through your belly.
There are times
Freaking
that is
weird.
creepy as hell, especially if you see like when the baby like pushes with their foot and you can make out an entire foot. You're like, oh my gosh, there's a thing in you. It's real.
Well, that's definitely very scary.
I think the best thing about being a woman though is like we get to dress up and be pretty. Like
Yes.
we get to like pick out the cute clothes, the cute shoes. Like guys' clothes suck. Sorry guys.
They do. Most men's clothes are complete garbage. You guys have like 5 choices.
You know something that my brother, my husband, a lot of men have told me like, oh, but you say that just because you can wear makeup. If I could wear makeup, like not like they want to wear makeup, but like of course we're gonna be pretty because you can wear makeup. Like we don't have anything. If we're ugly, we're ugly.
Well, I don't agree with that concept because it's like I don't know. There are women that do some like crazy trickery with makeup where like does, like she really is ugly and like somehow made herself using witchcraft like to look good. But I think that like for the most part it's about enhancing your natural features and that's what it's about. So I don't think
does it ever make you guys mad when you see guys that can do makeup better than like us women?
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? His makeup looks like 10 times better than mine, and I spent 2 hours doing it.
But also, it's so funny, like, because men also have this fear, right? That in the first day, take her swimming so you can see her after you know?
The thing is, not so stupid because it's like, if she's changed the way that she made her face look, it's most likely, obviously, a ton of makeup. And it's like, you can't tell that she's piling on like a ton of makeup. I don't know what to tell you. Like,
exactly. If you're changing it because something's wrong with it, not something wrong, but like something you want to change about it, right? You're not showing what the real deal, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I don't know, ladies. All this stuff. Yeah, but seriously, like they told me that a lot of times. Like I hear that very often in my life from men. Like there's some they feel like there's some kind of imbalance there.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's the fear because there's always that like you always hear that one horror story about somebody who like successfully did it and some guy who had no idea, and then she like wipes off her makeup and you realize like, oh my gosh, maybe her skin isn't perfectly porcelain, or she might have like acne or something. And like they get so fixated on that. The men that complain about this, the vast majority of men, I don't think actually care. The vast majority of men, I think, realize that what you see is pretty much what you're going to get. And it might just be like, hey, maybe her eyes are a little bit washed out, or like, for me, I color my hair. So there's going to be an instance where you're going to see roots and realize I'm not naturally this.
I don't think men would even really notice the difference.
The only time they've ever noticed it is if I let it grow for like 2.5 inches and they're like, is something different with your hair? And I'm like, don't worry, it's gonna get fixed today. Like, just don't pay attention for another. Men don't pay attention
to the things that we women pay attention to. Like we notice more for other women. Like
absolutely.
Like I notice y'all's eyebrows. Like they're well maintained, manicured.
Wait a second. How do you ladies? Because I'm hearing all these, right? But this makes me think, how do you see the SJW women? Because, normally, in for example, in Comicsgate, or, it always comes up this, when they talk about women, some people just in their minds, feminist, very hardcore feminist, or, an SJW woman appears in their heads. I don't know what's the first conclusion they go, right?
Yeah.
But we're not all like that. But what's your take? What do you guys think about these SJW women? Like, how do you see them?
Shay, go first.
Why? Oh, you bitch. So I mean, so here's the problem, and it's actually something I was talking with Piper about, is because Piper has shaved panels and does like the kind of crazy punk hair, and she's like super pissed off because SJWs have tried to co-opt that look, and it's been, if you have bright colored hair, if you have shaved side panels, like obviously as a woman you must be a feminist now, you must be like a crazy SJW that is going to try and castrate every man that you see. But in all honesty, the thing that I notice the most about SJW women is the fact that they just can't keep their damn mouths shut. It's not so much their physical look, it's the fact that in every single thing that is said anywhere near them, they are suddenly going to have a completely outrageous, way overly passionate opinion, and they're going to find a way to twist it. And so it's, well, you're trying to oppress women. Even if it's like, I like cinnamon rolls, and be like, yeah, because you want a woman to stand in the kitchen and make it for you, and you're like, that, how did you do that? I'm talking about food. Like, what did you just do?
Yes, they do that.
Giving me flashbacks, because I honestly haven't been around SJWs in a while since I like got blacklisted. But when I was around them like crazy, yeah, that's the perfect description. It's like they are definitely standing on a soapbox, like preaching aggressively their opinion and telling it at you.
Yes.
But if they are definitely, I know other people that have like dreadlocks or look really punky, or I've had many different colored hair myself as well. Crazy colored hair.
I honestly, like, I don't mean to cut you off there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, just real quick. It's just basically if they don't say much, they're just kind of decent people, but they're not standing around on a soapbox like yelling at you this leftist opinion. Like, we exist.
I see them as like women that don't want to put in the effort or try to take care of themselves. That's how I see them.
Ooh, you bring up an interesting point. A lot of them are women that have really low self-esteem, and rather than try to work on it from an internal standpoint where they're happy with themselves, they make it everyone else's problem. And it's like, the reason I feel bad about myself is because of you, because that's easier. It's easier than having to look inside yourself and say, I feel bad about myself because I grew up being told this is how I should look and this isn't how I feel like I look, or I feel like I eat too much junk food and therefore I feel like I'm overweight, but it's hard for me to lose the weight. That is a really difficult conversation to have with yourself. It's way easier to say, well, it's because all of you guys are making me feel this way. That's why I feel bad.
And you're the bad person.
Right.
Because you don't,
like Martina are really the bad person because you like embody everything that other women generally want to be. Like, that's what you just kind of are. And then it's, well, I don't look like Martina, therefore it's her fault that I feel bad.
Yeah, and I mean, I've experienced it with people using pronouns or whatever, where it's like they're getting mad because it's like, well, you make me feel shitty about myself because you're not choosing to use like these words. And it's like, listen, I know you. I'm not choosing to like do something to upset you, but like if that upsets you that I did it by an accident, that's something you got to sort out, because I'm not sitting here doing it maliciously and being like really hateful. You're my friend and I did it by mistake. Like,
well, if you notice, they live in a very egocentric world. Like, it's all about me, 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 me. I mean, there are bigger problems in the world than your personal pronouns. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there are still women who are living in villages in Africa that are being raped. You know what I mean? Like,
well,
it's,
like the genital mutilation
as a,
genital mutilation and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, why? If you want to be for women, then you need to be fighting those problems.
Yes,
like,
that's one of the big problems. That's one of the big problems of the SJW, especially the feminists. They say, we care about women. No, you don't. Because if you were taking care of that kind of stuff. But they are instead like, oh, body positivity movement. I eat the whole cake. Yeah, hashtag eat the cake. Yeah, okay, whatever, If you are like 500 pounds, that's okay. You're beautiful. You're gorgeous. Goddess.
Yeah, let's not talk about the health issue that you're gonna have when you're like, 300 pounds and like, you're eating sugar nonstop every day, all day.
But you can't talk about that because now you're making them have to address something and it makes them feel bad about themselves. So now you must be shaming them because they feel bad.
Yeah, exactly. It's these people that don't want to work on themselves.
Right. And it's actually really sad. It makes me really kind of feel sorry for them because it's, if you could just learn to stop looking to everybody else to validate you. Stop looking to all of these other people to tell you that you're good enough and just start to believe that you're good enough. The whole world changes. Everything becomes very, very different.
Yes, yes, definitely. But maybe women, we are used to, like, I don't know, like the passive role, not to take action into things, maybe that all that like emotional way of seeing the world, like everything happens to me, everything comes to me. No. I think that sometimes maybe that could be a little bit confusing. Let me see, we have a lot of comments. They are talking about Lady Alchemy. For example, Yetzabel Mejia, she's saying, I back Lady Alchemy.
Oh, great.
Which is amazing. And also, Papa Keneso is saying, the Lady Alchemy rival with both claws, and the new artist is off to a flying start.
That's right. I think the last time you guys had me on in December?
Oh, on Red Valkyrie?
Yes. That was like the first announcement that I broke off with my former team. And since then, it's been a bunch of drama.
Yeah.
But they've been trying to destroy the project, but they're not.
Good.
And I got Von Klaus to help me, to write the script for my story. And
Von is phenomenal.
had a little bit of struggles with the artist for a little while, but now new artist, and it's running smoothly. We're getting artwork in every week, and it looks so good.
That sounds awesome. But I'm kind of new to CG. Like, of course, when I entered here, you already were doing all these things. So I want to ask you, Martina, how did you go from doing burlesque and like stage art to comic books?
Yeah, so there was a time, talking about crazy hair, back in like 2000, I think 11 or something. I had like the silvery, like purpley hair at the time. It was like a lilac. And around that time, I bumped into someone that does like comic book like art for a lot of celebrities. He did like random, like, what's Ice-T's like wife or ex-wife? Coco, yeah, he's made like Coco into a comic book character. He's done like the first winner of America's Next Top Model, what's her name, Adrian, was turned into a comic book character. And I talked to him, and I was like, yeah, I always wanted, I always think that Lady Alchemy is a comic book character. I look like one. I wear costumes. It's just such a fun little kind of story. I run around at night, and we're in New York City's like Gotham City. And he mentioned about, the cost of it, and it's going to cost like 10 grand. You need to like get the artist, lining, the ink work, the colorist, there's this, there's that. And I was like, well, I don't have 10 grand for a comic book. That's not happening. And so when the whole campaigns on Indiegogo started happening, it was kind of like, hey, we could make this happen. So, took 10 years, but I think that now I found my place in my home in the comic book world, and it's happening. So it's cool.
And would you please explain me a little bit this whole Lady Alchemy? Like, I know that you like a lot alchemy, math, science. You're a very smart woman. Is she a superhero? What's more or less the story? The plot.
Yeah, no, Shay just had a really funny comment. I still think it's about 90 fucking pounds of posters. I don't think that number has gone down at all. It's a lot of posters.
We'll make it go down, I believe.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. What were you saying, Carla? What was that? I just got really distracted by it.
Sorry, what happened? Because I don't know.
Okay, Carla, to fill you in, when she was on Red Valkyrie, we kept on making her the full screen and had her continually saying the clip of 90 fucking pounds of merch, because that's how much merchandise she had purchased of, posters and t-shirts. And so Soul Ion was asking how many pounds are left now.
Okay.
Apparently it's still about 90. Sorry, that was a total derail. It just made me laugh because it was a throwback.
No, it's perfect.
What Carla was asking you was, what is Lady Alchemy? Like, what's your story?
Oh, right, the alchemy and stuff. Right. How does she like have powers or whatever? Right. Well, that's a good question too, because kind of like it's not like Batman because she definitely gets supernatural powers, but it's definitely tries to stay on the trajectory of like real alchemy. So at first she gets a book. She finds out she has a rare blood type, which is a true story. And so she goes on the hunt about that and where she comes from, what her bloodline is from. So that kind of makes her a little special compared to the average person. But how exactly does that make her special? She comes across this old man at a bookstore named William, who gives her the Mutus Liber, which is a real alchemical ancient text, and it gives her the information about alchemy, her bloodline, and how to like do a ritual. So like one of the first rituals you do is summoning the archangels. So it's ritual is like a prayer. So it's like doing a prayer or meditation or whatever. And usually in those meditations and prayers, like for this LBR ritual, the lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram, you visualize the archangels, you visualize like, you know, summoning God and calling, you know, doing pentagrams in the air and whatever. But in the comic book, you don't just like visualize it, they actually appear. So you get archangels and they're like your protectors. And so it definitely can go into that realm of like spells and summoning different things. And then the evil people, the elites, the like Illuminati types, they try to get her to do like a ritual spell, like on stage, like as a performance that is like, has a demon try to give her this Faustian deal. So it's like demons are there's angels, demons. That's kind of how it fits. But there's a lot of room for things outside of just spells because alchemy is kind of like understanding the elements of the world. So there's all sorts of connections between elements if you study like esoteric stuff or like, you know, the tarot, Kabbalah, like all that stuff. It's like there's 4, you know, earthly elements, like the main elements, earth, fire, wind, and water. And there's associations to like the 4 cardinal points, north, south, east, west. There are associations to certain metals. There are associations to certain, anything is connected. So there's a way that you can play with alchemy and those connections and make it work for her.
Okay, I started with one question. I have 1,000 now. Yeah,
okay. Are these things that you're into personally? Like, are you into tarots and?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not hugely big on like reading the tarot by any means, but there's different uses for the tarot and esoteric study. I definitely like studying them. So tarot is also one of my perks. I have to put back up on the campaign because I was going to do a custom deck for that, the major arcana. But yeah, I personally, you know, I love the High Priestess. I always find that archetype to have like, it's very feminine, you know. My ruling planet is the moon because I'm Cancer, so she has like the crescent moon there. She has that book, you know, that reminds me of like the Mutus Liber, holding a book, an ancient text. There's just stuff about that archetype that I like, and all the other different tarot have different archetypes, so it's interesting to study and learn about. So yeah, I like the philosophy of it, but I don't necessarily like read tarot or have done that much.
But you know, like it's so interesting, like everything you're putting in the book, because okay, I just want to ask you this: how much do you think that your story actually like relates to reality?
Like so much. It's so crazy.
I know. That's why I asked you.
It's so crazy, this story. Like, I mean, I would love to go down when like actually have it done and everyone can go through and they've read it and you guys have read it and you can understand the story and then go like, tell me about this page. Like, what's going on here? I'll be like, okay, so in real life, these bitches who did this performance tried to get me blacklisted, and then these other cunts start making fun of me being on a. Oh, excuse me if I'm on. I don't know if I'm on.
No, you're fine.
You're gold,
like,
Martina.
It's like these other bitches. They try to like make fun of me being on a billboard, and these other assholes try to turn my picture into a witch, and so it like kind of all converges in there, where it makes them kind of attack me in the story and do all these things that happened in real life. So it's kind of funny. There's a lot of insight.
So what you're saying is when this comes out, when the first book comes out, we're all getting back together and we're going to do like a live analysis of Lady Alchemy. I love this. That's a great idea.
Yeah. No, I mean,
that would be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, it's super interesting because even if you don't know all of that, there's a lot of like alchemy. The story itself is interesting if you don't know alchemy. So I feel like it just fits in that comic book world. It makes sense. But then it's like, if you know about esotericism, it's kind of like, oh, that's cool. Like what she put in there, like does make sense. And that's like a real thing. So there's always that layer. And then if you start to understand the lore behind me as the creator, you'll be like, holy shit. Like,
I know, but that's also another thing I want to ask. I'm a creator too, so I know like that the reason why you start a project is, of course, like it's really important. But when you're talking about this stuff that maybe people is just learning now with all these, Q and the conspiracy theories and all the stuff that everybody's watching YouTube in the quarantine, but well, eating the cheese. Well, that's me. But you started this 10 years ago. Yeah,
essentially. I mean, I kind of came up with the story fairly recently, but I've had this idea of the bloodline and a comic book, and Lady Alchemy is like, superhero character that's also a performer. So yeah, I had those foundations like 10 years ago, but when I fired my old team, and let me tell you, the story was terrible, and they didn't include anything I wanted. There was no bloodline. There was no nothing. And this is all real. Like, I have a really rare blood type. Again, we can go through the whole thing. And so they didn't include anything I wanted. I kind of was like, shit, because now I have to make my story that I wanted, but have to come up with all the parts, the things that make sense, all the moving pieces. How does it flow into the next thing? And how does it all fit together by the end? And that was the difficult part, where I felt like I had to happen like really fast. So that all the little details happened recently, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I'm so excited. I'm gonna wait for my husband and tell him, hey, we're gonna back the book.
Oh, thank you. Yes,
I'm so motivated.
She mentioned like witchcraft, demons, archangels, Tara. I'm in. I'm all in.
Yes.
Okay, cool. At first I was like, uh-oh, am I gonna get someone that's like, this sounds very like bad? And then I realized
Christian. I would never. I would like, that's like right up my alley.
Okay.
It's stuff like that. Like my sister-in-law is like Wiccan.
Oh, nice.
And so like, I don't know. I just find this stuff interesting and fascinating. Like,
yeah, I mean, there is like that whole concept with girls anyway, with witchcraft. There's a fascination and stuff, and I think this brings like a certain. So I think there's like basic magic, which a base means like foundation. It's like it's not anything in a bad way, but it's more simplistic, but in a foundation. And then like alchemy is like high ritual magic. So I think it's super fun, and I view church, Catholic mass. It's a ritual mass is what we call it. So
I always said that I would be Catholic if like I could get into all the ritualistics of Catholicism.
It's a ritual, let me tell you. And then they have costumes, and there's drums, scepters, there's crowns, and there's incense. It's like so cool. So I love it.
Yeah, but also I don't know. I think everything has a meaning. Everything has a symbol. Something like, it's not just a pretty crown. It's something that is symbolizing. I'm getting all the goosebumps talking about this. I'm so excited. Like, this is amazing.
And that's the thing that I love about it, is like the visuals of it and the symbolism and the meaning. Like, it'll make Lady Alchemy just such a cool character, because like if you think of the Catholic Church and like the stunning imageries of it, that's what Lady Alchemy really likes to kind of adorn herself and look like. And then there's just some little bit of an elegance to it with the alchemy that like adds a little bit like mystery and like coolness to it in a really refined intellectual way, I think.
I agree with you. And like, okay, but when did you find alchemy? Like,
I don't know, probably like early adulthood. Maybe if I think about it, I can figure it out, but I'm in my 30s, so it was definitely probably like 19, maybe, I don't know, maybe a teenager, maybe when I was like younger.
Mm-hmm.
But I always liked Leonardo da Vinci and Isaac Newton, because I studied art and math, and those two people were like known to be obsessed with alchemy, like to the deathbed. fixated on it. And I was like, if these really two smart people were fixated on this thing, there has to be something about it. And the more that you study, the more you just become like really into it. It's just
it is really, really interesting. I remember because like most young teenage girls, I ended up having like a brief stint in trying to toy around with like the idea of Wicca and all of that.
Yeah.
And I had a tarot deck, and it's actually really interesting because I had a friend whose mother, aunt, her like grandmother, all of them were Wiccan. And one of the big things that they had said was, you'll know when you have the right deck because you'll feel a pull to it. Well, they ran out of the deck that I was hoping to get the day that we went and bought ours. And so my friend's aunt gave me hers, and I never like jived with it. It always freaked me out. I always got like a weird feeling in the pit of my stomach. And I ended up, I got so freaked out by it. I ended up wrapping it in like 3 trash bags, duct taped them up, and then like waited until an hour before garbage truck came to go throw it away to make sure it didn't like, I felt like it was going to show back up in my room because it just didn't feel right.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's interesting when they talk about that. They're like, if you have something that gives you that kind of an uneasy mindset, even if it is just that you don't feel comfortable with it, it's never going to perform for you or give you that kind of outcome that you're wanting because you aren't in a good place for it.
Yeah, I agree with that too. It's kind of like doing mushrooms. If you're not in a good place, don't do it.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Make sure that you're comfortable with everything that's going on, or it's not going to go.
Vibes are feeling good. Go for it.
I'm throwing this out there. Red Valkyrie does not promote the use of mushrooms.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, no, I don't either. I'm saying don't do it.
We're on Carla's channel. I'm just
Hey,
saying.
I say if you like you said, if you're in the right mindset, do it.
Yeah. If you think
I'm all for freedom here. All for freedom.
All for freedom.
If that's
Like
your
the
jam,
frog.
yeah.
Whatever makes you happy, enjoy responsibly.
I've
But we
definitely had friends that are like, hey, do you want to partake? We're all doing this right now. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. Just because like I got so much going on. It's probably not the
Probably too much, right?
I think when you go to drink, like
I'm not gonna sit here and say that back in college, we might not have got together and tripped some balls a few times.
Yeah, probably back then. Yeah, I've done it, but I wouldn't do it now.
I never have. I might as well be a straight edge. Like,
oh, that's good. Yeah, no, I think straight edge is great.
Mushrooms are just poisoning you, like
it is.
Whereas like acid is actually redirecting your chemical. Your brain.
Oh, I think people offered me acid. Yeah. I was like, no, but have fun.
Acid.
I was like, that's good, but enjoy yourself.
Oh my gosh, Dan's comment. Thanks to mushrooms at a young age, I had a 12-hour conversation with a scorpion. He was pretty cool.
Well, see, that's the kind of thing. It's not the kind of drug that's like, ooh, party. It's like if you want to figure, talk to your spirit guide or whatever the fuck, that's the kind of thing that you do.
It's
then
like
go for it.
peyote.
Yeah.
Yeah, like peyote, out in like Arizona and New Mexico and stuff, they actually have a church of peyote.
Yeah.
And basically you trip balls and you go on a spirit walk.
Yeah.
Well, we have good comments here. Go for it, kids. Yeah. Jay Wills says drug endorsement. No, that's not what's going on here.
Drugs are bad, okay?
Cooking advice.
Go for it, kids.
Just remember,
we have
drugs
a
are bad,
question.
okay?
We have a question from Bass. Martina, have you had any paranormal experiences?
No, I don't think I have. Nope. I think I've always wanted to. That would be cool, but I'm going to be honest with you. No.
All right.
I think aliens
are not always cool.
I think getting abducted by aliens would sound cool too, but never.
Oh, Pablo Romero. Sí, soy de Uruguay. I'm from Uruguay. That's your question. It's not you are gay, it's Uruguay.
You're
not
gay.
Just a little pause, everybody. Please subscribe to Waka Comics. Subscribe to Red Valkyrie there. And subscribe to
Red Gaze.
Red Gaze.
Lola is always on Red's stream.
and subscribe
Yeah,
to
I
Lady
am on
Alchemy.
Reggie's channel. Go back, Lady Alchemy.
Go
Yeah.
back, Lady Alchemy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you know, my campaign has done so well, and it's due to everyone that has like supported and endorsed it, and Ethan and everyone. But because of my troubles, I definitely need to just catch up a little bit. And the book, it has enough funding to get done, but it would be nice to kind of close the gap with the tarot cards and some shipping. So yeah, still support, still need a little bit of help. And
Let me ask you this, Martina. How much more do you think you like to get back on track? Because I know you were kind of done dirty. So like,
yeah, and I mean, it was like thousands and thousands of dollars that were just done dirty. I have enough money to pay for the art and to get it printed, so the book is happening. But I think that shipping is going to be a few $1,000s. So
Yeah,
we just need a few $1,000s back to
it
get
will.
it shipped. But that it doesn't worry me because shipping, media mail is like what, $2-3 at a time. So even if it comes down to, which I don't think this is going to be the case, but even if it comes down to, okay, I have enough money to make the book, pay for the art, and get it printed, shipping it out $2-3 at a time. I mean, I could put $500 of my own money, start getting it shipped, start fulfilling the order. So it's not the scariest thing in the world to me, the situation that I'm in. So it's fine. But
are you back on track with it then? Are you feeling better about it?
oh yeah, I feel so good. It's nice to just have it running like smoothly. My artist just keeps emailing me with sketches, and I keep being like, thank you.
Well, I saw this tremendous, like it was a full page
Yeah.
of Lady Alchemy and a gorgeous church. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. It's the first page is out. I need to get it colored, but I'm really happy with it. Page 1 is sitting on top of a building in New York City, overlooking the sunset. It's going to be like the very last bit of sunset, and looking over at the big city and the sunset, pondering, the stars, and becoming a star herself before she heads out to perform at the nightclub. So
yeah, it's a breathtaking page, that's
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Thank you.
Definitely, but I'm also like a huge fan of the meaning behind, because half of the equation is having a really good art, but just a beautiful art book, that's not the point. But here there's such a deep concept, so many layers, that you can keep digging and digging and digging, and you will always find more and more stuff and more exciting. And I'm particularly interested in all the stage art. I call it stage art because I don't know how to call it in English.
Yeah, stage art.
There you go. So because that now, like, all the superstars in Hollywood, Madonna, J-Lo, all these ladies, they have like these tremendous performances with these hats and horns, and they're like rituals, like satanic stuff going on. But I find it very interesting how you are putting the hero of the story to actually do the same. Like, you are basically stating in your story that there's actual power in those performances. Maybe people don't realize it, but there's such an energy. Like, there's an energy.
Of course, yeah. When I talked to Vaughn, my writer, about it, we had this discussion because in the story, when I go to the nightclub, there's this older woman, Vinia, who is like, she owns like a mass media corporation company, so she can make you a big star, and it's very powerful and stuff, has that ability to take you places. And she is there that night, and this is like, it just gets so crazy. So there's two other performers that are a parody of some people that are in real life. They have done performances like this. They were very anti-Catholic, where they come out as like nuns, and there's dildos and flaming Bibles, and there's all sorts of stuff. And my performance in real life was a fallen angel because of my bloodline thing. I try to do that on stage. I was taking these concepts that I embody as Lady Alchemy and trying to make it like a stage performance. So my performance at that same nightclub where they're doing this kind of stuff is being an angel. And when I perform, I did have noticed that, you know, it's a really like it's a spell. It is a spell because when you perform live, it's different than Hollywood or TV and movies and stuff. When you're performing live, there's the energy of the audience. You have all of this attention. And what do you do with it? When you harness all of this entire room of people's attention and their energy, you hold on to it. What do? You can like do something back where they feel it, or you can just like take it in, you know? And a lot of performers are very self-centered, and it's just like me. They love like getting that attention. But sometimes I stop when I perform and I'm aware that I'm getting the attention, and I try to like put feeling like back at them. And that's my ritual. And that is also depicted in the comic book. There's this energy that's like, you know, the certain performances take, you know, the souls, the spirit, the ether of people and can use it for bad. And there's like other performances that can like feed people, and it intrigues Vinio. How come she can do this? Why does she have this?
I think I'm seeing what you're doing. You're the superhero of the energy. Like we have all these like satanic dark rituals, and you're doing like you're a fallen angel. You're bringing light to it. You're using the power. Yes, she's using the same power for good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I get it now. I look like, if you could see my skin, I'm so excited.
Oh, yeah, I'm excited too.
I love that. It's true. You know, I never been like a professional or anything, but yes, I remember when I was dancing for when I was younger, and I remember, yeah, like you're about to go in the stage and the lights go off, and you have like this vibration, like the sound people expecting to see.
Yeah.
And there's this atmosphere, you know, you can only get it there.
Yeah,
you know?
That's the thing about live performance, and it's very New York too, because that's what we tend to do. You know, it's Broadway, it's a lot of live underground theater. It's where burlesque is thriving, and having a seat, like going to a real performance live, even if it's a singer or someone that plays the saxophone or something, and they're a few feet away from you, under the lights, performing, doing what they do, it's a totally different energy than in real life.
Yes.
I gotta say, like, I have nothing but mad respect for people who perform on stage in front of thousands of people, or even just like in a small crowd.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that takes balls, man. That takes like, you know, you gotta have a heavy set to get up there and like I would get up there and freeze up and like probably puke on everybody and just like.
No, that's how I mean, no matter how much I performed, I would perform every night, multiple times a night live. And I have stage anxiety. I know that a lot of other really famous people also get stage anxiety. So it's definitely that thing. And I would get sick. Like I get gaggy. I go like backstage because I get so nervous. That's because like I'm really insecure and I have a lot of empathy. So like I start, all the pressure starts like my mind just starts racing on like messing up, being an embarrassment. What do they think about me? So it definitely gets to you, and you have to like learn how to like focus. But usually what happens, no matter how nervous I am, as soon as like the music hits and you have that ritual that you know that you're doing, time slows down. You can like control time, and you can like feel the energy. You don't want it to slip by and just be done with the performance. That's a bad performance. You want it when it hits, suddenly your nerves go away and it's like you're in a trance and you're like, you know what you're doing. And
exactly, but you have to feel the energy to that mood, you know, that particular mood, to actually project it. Because if you're not feeling it, nobody's gonna feel it.
Exactly. Yeah. Before, when I used to like drink because it was for free, and they would just like give you drinks at night to like, you know, a little whiskey, feeling good, the nerves kind of like calm down. But that was really dangerous, because doing that every night, and then it becomes a point where you just have a little too much whiskey, and I had a really bad. The night wasn't bad, actually. I could have been a terrible embarrassment on stage. I could have been mugged. I could have been raped or murdered that night, but none of that happened. I was fine on stage, even though I was blackout drunk. The worst thing that happened was I lost my bag of shit. So it sucked, but I was fine. And that was kind of like, holy shit, you cannot be drinking before performance. Like that is like bad to depend on that. And so I just cold turkey was like, oh, don't drink anymore. I'm not a big fan of drinking, but calm me down. I'm like nervous. So I had to do it sober and have all that anxiety. And I had to just train myself to breathe, because it's all about your breath. You can control your heart rate. You can control your nerves. Yeah, right. And I would repeat to myself, have fun and be yourself. And that sounds so corny, but it's true, because have fun. If you're having fun, the audience is having fun. Yeah. If you're feeling awkward, they're feeling awkward for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And to be yourself is like, when you are on stage, you want to like project like that you're something cool, that you like this idea of like what you are, but you have to realize like you are your own, like you're unique. I know it sounds corny, but like whatever it is that make up you and what it is that you are on stage for, just do you.
But it takes a hell out of courage to be you, you know, because we often like to survive in this society. This goes deep, damn. But to survive in this society, we often like put different masks, right? Depending to where we go, especially when we're ladies. No, we're expected to act a certain way. So when to let out what we actually are, you know, we sometimes, of course, like we try to. I don't, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I still put on a mask when I'm Lady Alchemy, but it's my own original like persona of being super feminine, because outside of Lady Alchemy, I'm like nerdy and dorky and I slouch or whatever, and I'm like awkward. But when I'm like on stage, it's like, yes, I get to be that fabulous me that is inside of that nerd. So it's still me in a way, but yeah, like what you're saying is like, there is that like mask that you kind of put on, and you don't want that. Like my Lady Alchemy mask shouldn't be, let me be like Beyonce. Like, let me be like so-and-so. It should be, let me be Lady Alchemy, like that.
Exactly. Yeah. And that feels like no other. Like you make me remember when I was younger, I was very into like modeling and stuff, right? Yeah. So I used to take pictures. Like, I never showed anything, like I was, of course, fully clothed. I'm just making declaration because of what I'm going to say, okay? But like I transformed into this like super me that wasn't actually me, right? And I was super sexy and I said, yeah. And then I go back to me, I'm like, you know? But then I started like being treated as if I was that, right? Like people sending me like hypersexualized messages or not, they couldn't like interpret correctly, you know, they couldn't separate the character from the person, you know. That's something that I don't think that people actually like understand, you know, that there's a difference.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that too. It tends to be frustrating, actually. That was one of the things being Lady Alchemy. It was kind of like, you do realize I'm just a huge nerd, and like I'm not like this super sexually liberated kind of.
I think chill. They imagine Martina waking up. Oh, I'm gonna have a glass of milk.
I don't think you realize what this is like.
Okay. Drink your milk that way now.
She does it.
Oh my god, so funny.
I'm exaggerating it, but I'm kinda making the point there, right? Like it's not like that. It's not like that. Okay, so everybody, thank you so much for everybody who's dropping the links in the chat. You're awesome. You're beautiful. Yes, Lola.
I have a question about your campaign, Martina.
Mm-hmm.
Because you have the shirts and then the posters and then the books. Are you already shipping the shirts and the posters?
Yeah, so the art that I had paid for and all the merch that I had paid for, it is like physically in stock at my mom's house and in New York City in my Brooklyn apartment. So it's the shirts, the printed posters, and then I have the silkscreen posters at my mom's house. So I have sent out pretty much all of the shirt and printed posters. That is pretty much everyone has gotten, unless it's like, what's that random country that's like in the middle of the ocean somewhere past Hawaii? This is like a random tiny little island. Someone from like Guam. Yeah. Someone from like Guam hasn't gotten their shit yet. Sorry, I get it to you, ASAP. But it's like fucking Guam, really? And cool. Like, I think that's so cool that someone in Guam has Lady Alchemy. But I'm just saying, I'm like, where the fuck is Guam? I didn't even realize. Is it a British territory? I don't know. Or US. I don't know. But
don't know / don't care.
crazy. This shit's crazy. But for the most part, if you got it fairly recently in the past few months, then I haven't shipped that out because I am not in New York City, if you can imagine, with the coronavirus. And I'm up with my sister and I don't have my merch on me. So just like hold your horses when I sort out. When New York gets its shit together, I'll get my shit together and send you out the rest of that stuff. I was freaking out on the silkscreen posters just because I started to freak out that about the book itself. And I was like, okay, priority right now is like get my book together. But now that's like rolling and it's doing its own thing, that I can focus on shipping some more things out.
Okay, so like if I backed up a poster, then like I can expect to go on and get that while waiting for the book.
Yes, yeah, that'll get shipped out.
There.
Sorry for the long.
I was like, I was looking at your campaign. I was like, wait a minute, are she already sending these out, or is
yeah? All the perks except for the tarot cards are already made, and a lot of people have them. Pretty much everyone has them.
I'm all for the tarot cards. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah. So I'm sorting that out too because I started like freaking out. I was like, okay, so I need to like figure out the tarot cards, and my friend Dinah was like helping me out with that, and we're finding just like how to get them printed real cheap. She's helping me with artwork, and I think we'll be able to sort that out. Thank God.
Look, we have a little suggestion from Pablo Romero. He's saying, I think Martina should do live YouTube performances. And Michael says, seconded.
Yeah, I've thought about that before because I do have a Lady Alchemy YouTube channel. And since I've been blacklisted, it's like, can I just perform somehow? The only issue with online is like, yeah, you don't really get to see the like stage performance is just so different. It's crazy. Just the energy is different.
Yeah.
Live in front of you. And the other issue is copyright music. Music copyright is an issue.
Right. Now you were blacklisted though because of your politics, right?
Yeah, that was because if you could imagine like the super SJW artsy community. And 2016 election, if you were a Republican or Trump supporter, it was just like,
yeah.
Like it's funny because I've kind of been a Martina lurker. Like I've kind of like listened to your story, and followed your story as it's progressed and seen what's going on. And like you've been done pretty shitty, honestly.
Yeah, it's been years and years of bullshit. So it's like. It could be that thing where it gets to you, and just like we were talking about earlier with other women and stuff, it's like, and looking within yourself, you could kind of either go crazy, be, suicidal or whatever, or you can then just become like a negative person and start attacking other people and start focusing on the outside about it. But luckily, I think I'm sane enough that
I don't understand how you haven't become like a mega bitch. Because if I'd been through half the shit that you've been through, I would be like
years and years, like full on doxing, FBI investigations, like
you've been through a hell of a lot, lady.
Yep. My husband being banned from the country. I can't start my family. Like harassment on the internet with like crazy people. My artists screwing me out of thousands of dollars. Like. My blacklisting from my career was really traumatic. Like, I was doxxed. My address was doxxed by Antifa. I was afraid to answer the door. Like, it's just like so much. But yeah, one could either drive themselves crazy, which that kind of stuff has happened. There have been some people that have been like doxxed and, slandered out there, and they did not handle it well. Or you could just like become a huge bitch. Yeah. And it's like,
yeah. Yeah, especially in the world of art. It's full of SJWs, and they ruin stuff. They tend to ruin stuff. That's what they do. Some people create, some people destroy.
And the thing is, it's crazy because, like I said, the past few years, I actually haven't been dealing with SJWs like I used to be. Like that was my whole world. And I don't necessarily want to get into like now right-wing art or anything. I just want to be around people like you, where it's like we don't have to sit here and talk about politics all day long, but you're not gonna freak out on me because we don't Well, I think we do agree on most things. But
Right.
you're not gonna freak out on me because I said mean things about feminism or something. You know what I mean? Like, which is what they would do. They would freak out. They're like, she's
Wait. You mean you want to be able to have your own opinions and your own thoughts and not be told what to think and say?
yeah. So it's like
how
that's
crazy is that?
There you go. Abel Salazar is saying, Lady Alchemy is a true warrior. Hail.
hail, brothers.
And we have Mr. E. Hell, my good friend. Hell Comics will support Lady Alchemy and Green Reaper too.
Hell yeah.
And if you're at it, also support Samsung. And we have this comment from Papa Kenesu. Figure we were all Martina Lurkers.
That's a fair assumption.
Oh my God, stop.
Oh, I'm
Just a
serious.
lady worker.
The thing is, and so okay, to not to sit here and stroke your ego, because I mean, let's be real, you and I like bullshit talk all the time, but there's something about your Lady Alchemy persona and the way that you've done your comic, and like you're hitting that like area where everybody is super interested, but everyone's like a little bit hesitant to go there themselves, and they get to see your character, and you do burlesque, and it's beautiful, and it's out there, and it's super intimidating for like any normal person, and then you're over here with your Lady Alchemy like tarot cards and magic and alchemy type stuff. And I think that for everybody on the outskirts, it's a nice way to be like, if I just kind of stay close to and pay attention to her, I get to like experience this stuff without actually having to like jump into the pool and experience it.
Yeah.
It's like a gateway.
Sure. If that's that, I like that. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I just like the fact that she's got big balls, man. She just comes out swinging, and like, you know, all the shit that she's been through, she swings through it, and like,
Yep.
Like that's inspirational for
It
someone
is.
like me. Like I'm a mom. I've dealt with a lot of shit online as well because I am anti-feminism. I'm a humanist. You know, I believe in equal rights for everybody and equal. You know, I believe that men deal with shit that we don't deal with, and we deal with shit that they don't deal with, and that like they need advocates just as well as we do. You know what I mean? And so, like, I mean, I figure we all have big swinging balls, and we gotta come out and.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not for everyone, but it depends on each individual situation. And you know, I just got like hit unfairly hard, like unfortunately, because it was like the crux of super SJW kind of industry with like, you know, just it all hitting those levels where it just kind of ruined me. And it might not be for everyone because it's been tough going down that path if like they really want to ruin you. But sometimes it's not that big of a risk for you. But sometimes if it is, I tell people like, you know, we all have a contribution to make in any way it is. It's not always being a I always get the word advocate in my head, but that's not what it is. It's not an advocate. What is it when you go out there and you are involved in politics and you protest and you do things?
Activists?
Activist, thank you. Yeah, it's not everyone's job to be an activist, you know, and
Right.
go ruin your life for politics or for what you believe, even if it's not politics, whatever, like what you believe in. But sometimes like we have a mission inside of like our world. Like if you're a teacher, you know, if you're a lawyer, if you're a doctor or a creator and you're in Hollywood already, like don't just like ruin everything to stand up for what you believe in. You can make an influence on the inside. Because that's what the left did, you know, that long march into the institutions. They got themselves there. Hollywood was blacklisting commies and stuff at the time, and they still found their way in and changed Hollywood. So you have a role to play, even if it's not activism and you're not out there championing like things that you want to say. Like it's okay. Like we really need you. Like do whatever it takes.
Yep.
Well said.
I absolutely
Yeah.
agree.
Hell sister, that's what we say.
That's right.
Let me just take a look at the comments here. The Martina Marcotta Appreciation Hour. Now we live on White Hat Comics. I heard, Martina, you're from Ukraine. I don't know how to say it in English. Ukraine is correct?
My mom is from Croatia.
Croatia. Okay.
What about ski?
All right, but you are American.
I'm American, first generation.
Oh, okay. But you speak like other languages?
I was bilingual when I was a kid, but in the like early 90s, they told my mom to speak English at home. So I lost a lot of it, unfortunately.
Oh, all right.
I like, it's very familiar to me, but it's not fluent.
You'd actually have to like study it again to get it back.
Yeah, there's like a certain familiarity like to it. And I know like prayers and things, like certain words, like this is like a guma. It's not,
Yeah.
I remember in high school when I was like a teenager and I was babysitting, and I'm really Americanized. Like I don't speak fluently anymore or anything, but I remember babysitting for this family and they were saying something about a pomegranate. And I looked at it and went, this is a pomegranate? I was like, my entire life, this was a sheepok. Is that the Croatian word for pomegranate? I had no idea. Like blew my mind. I was like, oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
That's like my favorite word for like foreign non-English word for fruit is the word for pineapple in Persian because it's ananas. And it's just
that's kind of like French. It's like
we call it like that
okay,
in
so
Uruguay. We call anana too.
Yeah.
Here's the fun thing about Persian, right? Literally everybody came through Iran at some point and conquered. So Persian is a mixture of pure Persian, which is bullshit, and then mixed with like Arabic, there's French, there's some Latin, there's a lot of like English cognates, and they the thing, sorry, I'm geeking out for a second, but the thing that I think is really funny is so like when you talk to a Persian, you have a certain generation that don't want any English cognates, and they're like, no, you need pure Persian. But the rest of the country doesn't recognize the made up words that they made for things. So like I would be talking to a teacher when I was in college, and I would say Rayane for my computer. And he was like, what? And I went, Rayane. And he was like, what are you saying? And I went, computer? And he goes, oh, we don't say the other word. That is garbage word. And I was like, that is pure Persian, according to you.
God.
He was like, no, that is bullshit. We don't say it. I was like, oh, okay, my bad. Well, computer that.
That's
Okay,
like
yeah.
my mom and grandmother like speaking to each other. They're like, oh, no, Croatian. And then I hear washing detergent and then Croatian. I'm like, okay.
It's always so funny when you hear them break it, especially if you hear somebody who's like a native English speaker who learned the language, because it'll be, a whole bunch of stuff that's like in a really heavy accent, and it'll be like salam haleshama computer, and you're like, that doesn't. I don't think that's pronounced correctly.
Look at this comment.
Yes, that's exactly
That's what we're talking about.
I love that.
On an ass.
That's exactly what we're talking about here.
Well, my favorite thing is actually if you go and get like pineapples that have the little tag on them, it'll say pineapple, and then below it it'll say ananas, and I'm like, I love it.
I love that too.
Pizza de ananá.
Yes,
Pineapple pizza.
I had that last night.
Oh my god.
Don't
Pineapple
tell Mom
pepperoni
Ray that,
pizza.
man.
I every time I do, he tells me to delete my Twitter.
People get really weirded out about that. My sister likes pineapple on pizza.
I had to order extra pineapple because they keep on skimping. So I got extra pineapple, extra cheese.
That's so funny.
pepperoni.
That's why when I tweeted the like Walmart thing, it was because I went to get a phone at Walmart, and then my sister loves pineapple and had a literal, real, whole pineapple and said, "Can I get this too?" And I was sitting there checking out a phone and a whole pineapple.
We have my beautiful brother Vinny. Vinny's in the chat. Hello. Mwah. Kisses
Hi,
to you, brother.
Vinny.
And I don't know, so why are you saying culo? That's ass in Spanish.
So, like, at Christmas time, I usually I'll do like a Toys for Tots type thing, And so, this last year, the church that I go to, they decided to help the kids in the projects. Like, they took on all the kids, and so I chose a kid, and my kid for Christmas. It's kind of sad, but he wanted 2 pineapples and a board game. That's all he wanted for Christmas.
Oh
Wow.
my god.
So I went
disappointing.
over and I got 6 whole pineapples. for this kid.
That's
But
cute.
I
I
was
feel like I
like,
would have gotten him pineapple in every form. I would have got like a full pineapple, like ringed pineapple, chunk pineapple.
Well,
Like,
you should get him a pineapple plant because then he can always have pineapples. But also, my husband got really freaked out because I showed him how pineapples grow and he had no idea. He thought it was kind of like coconuts, just like hanging from a tree and you like pluck it. I was like, no, it grows from like down up like a whole pineapple. And he's like, that's so weird. It's an alien.
I also thought they came from the trees, but they are too heavy. They will probably kill you if you're under the tree. Sim has explanation here. Ananas is in French because the language comes from Latin roots like Spanish, etc. There you go. The very educational stream, you know.
you've done very well.
We're all for that. Yeah. Pineapple pen. Pineapple pen. Oh, that was in my last stream because let me tell you something. Let me tell something to Martina. Whenever I promote my campaign, I did some pinups, like sexy pinups. There are some sexy ladies, right? But every time I say pinups, the chat says that they understand penis. So for my 6K party, I'm gonna be eating crunchy peanuts on the microphone for the crowd. You know, that's why they are always like putting peanuts in the chat.
That is so funny.
I think it's the P word with your accent.
Peanut.
Yes.
Peanut. Me? What?
I think it's the words that start with P and it goes with your like accent. Because the other day I was chatting in her chat and I was like, say Penelope.
Yeah.
Penelope, or if she said Penelope.
Oh well, that's the thing. And Pablo says we all learn a valuable lesson here. Well, plenty of them. We learn about alchemy, about pineapples, about peanuts, about a lot of stuff. So, well, what do you say, ladies? We wrap up here?
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an hour and a half of good combo.
All right, beautiful ladies. So let's do a quick sign off. Everybody say whatever you want to say because this is the time to do it. Shay, you start.
I just want to say thanks for having me on. Thank you to everybody who has recently subbed to Red Valkyrie. I am only 7 away now from 700, which is super exciting, and I love you all. Go check it out. We've got some really awesome people on. I got Fragaboom tomorrow. I'm so stoked. Can't wait. But yeah, go check out Red Valkyrie, and I love you all. You guys are amazing.
Awesome.
I guess go check out Red Gaze tonight. Maybe we're doing some fan fiction, not really sure yet. Go back Sunsworn if you haven't back Sunsworn yet. That's Red Gaze's project. It looks awesome. It's got art from Carla. Go back Lady Alchemy and sub to her YouTube or whatever she got going on. Go check her out. She's awesome. Go sub to Red Valkyrie. Check them out. They're doing some awesome stuff over there. Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. If you guys are following because you're my friends or whatever, do check out everyone else's projects. Everyone has a project going on, I think, or YouTube channel or whatever. So let's all be friends and share. It's all positive vibes. Thank you guys so much. And yeah, you can always check out Mind You Go. Thank you, Shay. And yeah, YouTube as well. I might be streaming tonight. We'll see.
Awesome. Okay, I want to thank everybody for subscribing to White Cat Comics. I'm only one freaking sub away from 360. So come on, guys.
Come on, guys.
Do it.
I won't charge you for that. Like, it's not that hard. Come on. And also, yeah, my campaign is Green Reaper 2. Thank you so much, Mr. Officer, for dropping the links, and everybody else who has been dropping links like crazy the whole stream. We love you. You are beautiful. We read your comments all the time. Don't think we don't. And here we have the link for Sunsworn. Please check Sunsworn too. Sunsworn. Yeah. So thank you so much. Beautiful chat for being here. You are the backbone of the show. You are the backbone of everything. I love you guys. Thank you to my beautiful panel, Shay and Lola, and thank you very much, Martina, for coming to the show. Wonderful guest. This was super fun, and thank you very much. So, bye bye, everybody.
Bye.